Man, I absolutely could not have drawn that up any better. The hardest part about getting a bird with the traditional bow that I've seen is just being able to get drawn back. And the cover here really allowed me to do that. Of course, the problem was in this case, it was so quiet because the bird's walking on those pine needles. I couldn't tell exactly where he was at after he flew down. So I checked in and he gobbled right behind me. So I thought for sure he's gonna come up through that little gap in the pines. But of course, once I moved to go over and cover that direction, he looped back around and got to my weak side, which is the direction that I had been set up on, bow in hand, ready to draw back. And I would have been able to see him peeking through the pine needles and would have been at full draw right as soon as he stepped out. So that one was pretty tough. I was still holding out hope that he would turn that tail fan my direction so that I could get back to full draw, move all the way around, get back to his side. And I got about halfway there when he covered his head for just a second, but I really didn't have much time. His head became visible again. Now, I don't think that bird was spooked very hard because he was still gobbling once he got out of sight and I started calling again, but he connected with a hen very shortly thereafter, and that was pretty much the end of the hunt. It was another one of those before work hunts, so I really only have that very short window of time to try and make it happen. And I really don't think that those bright crestings are helping my case here. Certainly they're nice when you drop an arrow and you gotta go back and find it, but the movement aspect certainly isn't very good. Although I will say I have been very happy with that particular camouflage that I was wearing on the last 2 hunts. I'm really impressed with how many birds I've been able to have very close and not get busted until I had to move. And of course anything's gonna bust you once you have to move that close. Another awesome experience, but once again a little painful that I wasn't able to seal the deal on that hunt.